A very good morning to all of you. So, welcome to the discussion of class. Uh, in the previous class, we have seen about priority queue, how the elements are inserted and processed in the priority queue, and how they will be deleted. So, there are two ways in which one way is during the insertion itself, we will sort them in the arranging in the increasing order, then we will delete. That is one way. Another way is randomly insert them into the queue and then delete based on their priority. And among these two approaches, we have followed the approach of sorting. That is, we were sorting the elements during the insertion only, and then we are deleting based on their order. Now we'll be discussing about something called double-ended queue. So as the name itself says, it is also a queue or linear queue, but it is having only one end. But it's having two ends. That's why the name is double-ended queue. So now we'll be discussing about the concept of double-ended queue. Can you see the screen, whatever I am sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, a double-ended queue is also a linear queue, something like this, and it is having two ends. That is the front end and a rear end. And in this, insertion and deletion can be done from both the ends. Insert the element from and delete the element from front end. Insert the element from rear end and delete the element from the rear end. That's why it is called as double-ended queue. Double-ended queue is a type of queue in which insertion and deletion is allowed from both the ends. Insertion and deletion is allowed from both the ends. That means from the front end, we can insert the element and delete the element. From the rear end, we can insert the element and delete the element. That means same queue is being utilized for both the purposes. Earlier, what was happening in case of linear queue? In case of linear queue, how the scenario is, we are having rear end. Insertion was possible only from the rear end. This is rear end. We were allowed to insert the element from the rear end, and we were allowed to delete the elements from the front end of the linear queue. Now that insertion and deletion is supported in both the ends. That's why the name is double-ended queue. That's why the name is double-ended queue. Now, based on the insertion, what we are doing, or there are some restrictions for inserting and deleting the elements. So based on those restrictions, the double-ended queue is categorized into two main types. So what are the two types? Input restricted queue and output restricted queue. So this is the same diagram whatever I explained just now. It is one double-ended queue in which we can perform insertion and deletion from both the ends. That means empty condition can be checked from front end as well as from the rear end. So that is the property of the double-ended queue. Now, based on the restrictions, there are two types in the double-ended queues. The first type is input restricted queue. So as the name itself says, it is going to allow deletion. There is no restriction for the deletion. element can be deleted from both the ends, but the insertion can be done only at the one end. So it is called as input restricted. That means you are going to restrict input from only one end, but deletion can be done from both the ends. So it is called as input restricted. For example, if you are allowing insertion, if this is a double-ended queue and you are allowing insertion, that is only insert from one end but delete from both the ends, delete from this end also and delete from this end also, then it is called as input restricted queue. And the other thing is output restricted queue. So what output restricted queue is, it's going to allow insertion at both the ends. So you are allowed to insert elements from both the ends, but you are allowed to delete the elements from any one of the ends. So this is what is output restricted queue. So this is the scenario in which insertion is allowed from both the ends, but deletion is allowed from only one end. So then it is called as output restricted queue. So output restricted queue, for double-ended queue we use the term usually DQ. So double-ended queue, that stands for DQ stands for double-ended queue. So output restricted queue is going to allow insertion at both the ends. So there is restriction only for the output. So now based on these, as we have two ends for the double-ended queue, so in case of linear queue, we can perform only two operations on the linear queue. So what are the two operations that we can do on the linear queue? We can insert the element from the rear end and we can delete the element from the front end. Now as the double-ended queue has two ends, now there are two extra operations on the double-ended queue. So what are the two operations? What are the four possible operations? Insert from the front end, delete from the front end, insert from the rear end and delete from the rear end. So these are the four possible operations what we can do with the double-ended queue. So what is the first type of operation? Insert front, inserting an element from front of the from front end of the double-ended queue. Similarly, delete an element from the front end of the double-ended queue. Third operation is insert an element into the double-ended queue from the rear end. Fourth operation is delete an element from the rear end. So these are the four fundamental operations what we can do with the double-ended queue. And now we'll be looking into the different functions, definitions of the functions, how they can be implemented. That means here the same code for linear queue, it is written two times, but only the pointers are used differently. That means single-ended queue you have to implement in both the ways. So if it is single-ended queue, the simple logic here is, if it is, assume these are the two linear queues. Assume these are the two linear queues. In this queue, what we do here is, we insert the element from rear end and we delete the element here. It is here what we do, we insert the element and we delete here. Now in this case, what you do here is, other possibility, insert from this and delete from this. Now combination of these two you have to do. We know how to implement this. While implementing this, what we use the rear pointer for insertion. Here, while inserting, we use front pointer. So combination of these two is the implementation logic for the operations on double-ended queue. So I will do the second element. I will take it once again. This is front end and this is rear end. Okay, so I'll start it from the beginning. So now we'll be discussing about how to insert element onto the double-ended queue. That is how to insert an element at front end of the double-ended queue. Because we know that double-ended queue is having two different ends, front end and rear end. We can insert the element from front end and we can delete the element from the front end. From rear end also we can insert the element and we can delete the element from the rear end. Okay. Now This is Q has been declared. So let us say these are the elements which we want to insert from the front end. So in the beginning, front and rear both are initialized to -1. So when front and rear both are pointing to -1, that indicates there are no elements in the double-ended queue. Now first, for the first element, which is 10, which we want to insert, check whether front is equal to -1. Check whether front is equal to -1. Yes, it is true. In that case, what we do, we perform front plus 1. What is front? Front is -1. -1 plus 1 is 0. Then that 0 will be assigned to rear and front. That means this rear pointer and front pointer both are pointing to index 0. Now Q of front, at the front index of this Q, insert the element. Front is 0, Q of 0 is element. So Q of 0 is element. So 10 has been successfully inserted from the front end of the double-ended queue. Now if you can see here, there will be no space for the next incoming element from the front end, because already it is blocked. If this 10 is placed somewhere here, then you can put some more elements in the front end. So let us check that condition in the next part. That is, assume that you want to insert one more element. After inserting this, we'll simply return to the caller. After inserting 10, the control will be transferred to the main function. Then assume that you want to insert one more element called 20. Now check whether front is equal to -1. No, front is not equal to -1. Front is equal to 0. So we'll go for checking next condition. Check this condition whether front is equal to 0. Yes, it is true. Front index is pointing to 0. So what it indicates, now Q is full. Q is full from which end? Q is full from front end. You cannot insert elements from the front end because already the last position is occupied by the element 10. You are not allowed to insert elements from the front end, but still you can insert elements from the rear end. That is possible. So if this is true, what we do, we give a message saying that Q is full, specifically from the front end, and then we will simply return to the caller. Now from front end, we are not allowed to insert any of the elements. From front end, we are not allowed to insert any of the elements. Now what is possible for us is, we can delete only the delete the element from the front end or insert the element from the rear end. We are able to insert the elements from the front end. We can insert the elements from the rear end. Now for the same queue, what I will do here is, let us take the delete insert rear function, because so that if there are some elements in the double-ended queue, then only I can show all the operations. So insert front is over. Now let us say insert rear. Yes, this is what is insert rear function. So I think that queue I can show here itself. We have sufficient space here. This one I can show it here itself, right? So this is what is our double-ended queue, right? So its name is queue. We have these index values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and where front is pointing, rear is pointing to 0, and front is also pointing to 0. Front is pointing to 0 and rear is also pointing to 0. What was the element that we inserted just now? 10 was the element which has been inserted. Okay, this is what is the scenario. Now from the front end, we cannot insert more elements, but we can insert the elements from the rear end. We can insert the elements from the rear end. It is possible to insert elements from the rear end. Okay, now let us say how the insert rear function works. That means from this end, from rear end, we are trying to insert the elements onto the double-ended queue. Now let us say that these were the elements 10, 20, 30. So let us say we want to insert 20 from which end? From rear end. So before you insert, whether you have to check whether double-ended queue is completely empty. That means his rear is pointing to -1. No, this is false. That means now we are trying to insert element from this end. It is false because rear is not equal to -1. Also check whether cube is full from the rear end. So when cube is full when the rear is pointing to index 99. So what is being assumed here is cube is of size 100. But for our explanation, I have taken it of size 7. That means in this case, you have to compare with the 7. Whether rear is whatever size you take, the maximum index, it should point to maximum index. If it is pointing to the maximum possible index, then we say that Q is full. Q is full where at rear end. Now this is also false. That means there is space available here. If you are entering from this end, it is possible to put the elements. But if you are entering from this end, there is no space. That means ultimately this condition is true. What is the ultimate left condition? Simply increment the rear pointer and store the element. That is perform rear equal to rear plus 1. Make rear to point to the next possible index. That means rear has been incremented. Right? So rear has been incremented. Then at the rear index of Q, store this element. What is the element? Element is 20, which we are trying to insert. So this is how we insert element from the rear end. So let us say you want to insert one more element. Say I want to insert one more element called 30. So let us insert one more element called 30. So check the condition whether rear is equal to minus 1. No, it is false. Whether rear is equal to maximum index. No, it is false. Then simply increment rear and store the element. That means rear is made to point here and 30 because we are inserting from this end. So I hope you can understand. I'll write the remaining elements now. Still you go the maximum index, we can go on inserting. That means 40 gets inserted. So rear is incremented and 40 is inserted. Again increment the rear, insert 50. Again increment the rear, insert 60. Again increment the rear, insert 70. Because I want to check the Q full condition from the rear end. Now this is the scenario. This is the scenario when you have inserted these many elements from the rear end, from this end. Now you don't have space from the rear end. We are not allowed to insert some more elements from the rear end of the double-ended queue. It's not possible. But still, let us check that condition from the program. Okay, let us say you want to insert one more element 80 from the rear end of the double-ended queue. You want to insert one more element 80 from the rear end of the double-ended queue. So check whether rear is equal to minus 1. No. Check whether rear is equal to maximum index. What is in our case? Maximum index is, that is the queue size is being assumed as 7. 7 minus 7 is 6. That means rear is pointing to maximum index and we say that queue is full. You are not supposed to insert some more elements from the rear end of the double-ended queue. So queue is full and we will simply return to the caller. What we have seen now, insert from the front is seen and delete from the insert from the front is over and insert from the rear is over. Now let us study the delete functions. So onto the same double-ended queue, what I'll do here is, let us study delete front function. So this is the function for deleting element from the front end of the double-ended queue. From the front end of the double-ended queue. Right? I'll take the same queue. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these are the elements. What are the elements that we have inserted just now? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. So these are the elements, and we know the fact that this is rear end and this is front end. Where front index is pointing, index is pointing to 0. So as per this, and where rear index is pointing, the rear index is pointing to 6. This is known to us. Rear is pointing here. Okay. Now on this, in this present scenario, let us try to delete some elements from the front end. Because now you can remove 10 from the front end. After removing 10 from the front end, later you can remove 20 from the front end. Now at the same time, if you want to delete from the rear end, what you can do here is, you can delete 70 first and later you can delete 60 from the rear end. Now deletion is possible from both the ends. Why? Because there are elements present in the double-ended queue. Now before you delete, as usual, we have to check whether queue is empty or double-ended queue is empty. How do we check? If front and rear both are pointing to -1, we say queue is empty, but that is not in our case, because front is pointing to index 0 and rear is pointing to index 6. Now check, is there only one element in the double-ended queue? It is possible. That is, when front and rear both are pointing to the same index, then we say that there is only one element present in the double-ended queue. and okay. Now that means when both the conditions are fail, ultimately what it means is there are some elements left out from the front end and you can delete some elements. So how to delete? Take a queue of front. That means remove the element from the front end of the double-ended queue, then increment the front pointer and return that. What is queue of front? This queue of front, that is front is 0. So queue of 0 is 10. So 10 is obtained and that 10 will be returned to the caller. That is simply what we do. We simply return 10. That means 10 has been removed from the double-ended queue. Let us assume that 10 has been removed from the double-ended queue. Later here it is post increment. We are incrementing the front pointer after deleting the element. That means front should be made to point to 20 because when 10 goes out of the queue, then 20 will be the element which is present at the front of the double-ended queue. Now front is made to point to next possible index. That is front plus plus. Okay. Now let us execute the code once again and let us see we can delete some more elements from the front end of the double-ended queue. So you want to delete one more element from the front end of the double-ended queue. So check whether double-ended queue is empty. Is front is equal to -1 and rear is equal to -1, condition fails because there are some elements present in the double-ended queue. Again check, is there only one element present in the double-ended queue? No, that is also false. Next thing is what? We are free to delete the element from front end of the double-ended queue. So first take the element present at the front of the double-ended queue, queue of front. First you take it. What is queue of front? Front is pointing to index 1. So queue of 1 is what? 20. So 20 is obtained and that will be written. So what this statement becomes now? This statement becomes as return 20. So return the 20 to the caller. Then post increment. What post increment indicates? Use the value of front, then increment it. Use the value of front, then increment it. So let us assume that 20 has been deleted and front must be incremented. Front must be made to point to the next element in the double-ended queue. Right? So this is how we can delete the elements from the front end of the double-ended queue. So let us now see the deletion from the rear end of the double-ended queue, not of the same queue. Right? So this is the function for deleting an element from the rear end of the double-ended queue. So let us take the same queue, whatever is left out now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, these are the index values what are left. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10, 20 has been deleted. I think we have deleted from here. 10, 20 they have been deleted. What is left out now? 30 to 70 are available. Front is pointing to 2. 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70 are available. Front is pointing to this index and rear is pointing to this index. And we know that this is front end of the double-ended queue and this is rear end of the double-ended queue. Right? And name for this whole queue is queue. Queue is the name. Okay. Now let us execute the delete front or delete rear. We are trying to delete the elements from the rear end of the double-ended queue. Let us see how it works. So before you delete elements from the rear end of the double-ended queue, you should check whether queue is empty. Because if queue is empty, we cannot delete the elements. So how do you check? Whether this both front and rear, both the pointers are pointing to -1, then the queue is empty. So that is not the case in this case because there are elements in the double-ended queue. Now check, is there only one element in the double-ended queue? So there will be only one element in the queue when both front and rear are pointing to the same index. Now this is also not the case. So what is the ultimate case? Ultimate case, what it indicates here is there are more than one elements present in the double-ended queue from the rear end. Now simply what we do, we take the element present at the, I'll erase this. Right? So take the what is queue of rear. Q of rear is 6. Q of 6 is what? 70. So 70 is obtained. It is not single minus, it is actually minus minus. So what minus minus indicates? Decrement. Decrement the value of rear after obtaining the element from the rear end. So now you have to return this 70 to the caller. So return in the sense, let us assume that it has been deleted from the rear end, and later what the code says, decrement the index of rear. So rear must be, when rear is 6, when you perform rear minus minus, then rear becomes 5. So rear pointer is made to point to this index now. This is how we delete the elements from the rear end of the double-ended queue. Now let us call once again the delete function. Let us try to delete one more element from the rear end. Whenever you are deleting, check whether queue is empty. No, this is not the case. Front is not equal to minus 1 and rear not equal to minus 1. So these are not satisfying and it is false. So check, is there only one element left? No. That means ultimately what we do here is we are free to go to the, we are free to remove the element from the double-ended queue, from the rear end. So what is Q of rear? Rear is 5. So Q of 5 what? 60. So obtain that 60 and return to the caller. So remove that 60 and return to the caller. Then later decrement the rear. That is rear minus minus. That means rear should be made to point to the previous element because I am doing rear minus minus. So what we have done, we have seen all the types of operations what we can do onto the double-ended queue, insert, deletion. But the explanation is still incomplete if I don't continue the iterations, because there are spaces available here. Now let us take the same queue and try to perform insert front once again. Why? Because there is a space available at the front end as well as at the rear end. We can use these spaces by using the front index. So with the same queue, let us go to the insert front function once again. Yes, this was the insert front function what we have discussed. So I'll come back to the same insert front function and let us insert some more elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What are the elements left out now after deleting? Yes, 30, 40, 50 are available. What are the elements available? 30, 40 and 50 are available, and this is rear end. Rear is pointing to this index and front is pointing to this index. This is known fact right now, because earlier we were not able to check all the conditions because front end was full. Now let us reiterate through the function. What is the element that you want to insert? So let us say that I want to insert an element called 80. I want to insert an element called 80 from the front end of the double-ended queue. From the front end of the double-ended queue. Check the condition whether front is equal to minus 1. Because when front is equal to minus 1, what it indicates? It is an empty queue. That is not the case in our case. Else check whether front is equal to 0. Earlier we were not able to, if you remember, after inserting 10, we were not able to insert one more element. Why? Because front was pointing to 0. Now in this case, front is not pointing to 0. Front is pointing to index 2. That means this is also fail. Ultimately what it indicates here is there is some space available at the front end of the double-ended queue. You have still possibilities to insert some more elements. So ultimately what you have to do, you have to bring this front index to point to this location. Now where front is pointing, it is pointing to index 2. You should make it to point to index 1. How it is possible? You have to perform front minus minus. Take this front and make it to point to this index. So that's what it is being done in the statement. That is front equal to front minus 1. So take this front pointer and make it to point to the index 1. Front equal to front minus 1. It has been decremented. Now at the front index of that queue, you insert the element. So what is the element that you want to insert? 80. So 80 will get inserted as per this statement. Q of front equal to element. So 80 gets inserted successfully. Now let us still check with one more element. So I want to insert 90, that too from the front end only. Check, is it the case front is equal to minus 1? No. Is front is equal to 0? No. That means we have still space available at the front end of the double-ended queue. What you do, just decrement the front. Just decrement the front. Make front to point to front minus 1. Front is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. That means front is made to point to 0. Make the front to point to 0. Then at that index q of 0 equal to element. At the 0th index of this q, insert the element. What is the element? 90. So 90 get inserted. 90 gets inserted. Now let us say that you want to insert one more element. Say I want to insert one more element 100 from the front end of the double-ended queue. Is it possible to insert one more element from the double-ended queue? No, it is not possible because it is full from the front end. It is full from the front end. That's what we have to check. Whether front is equal to -1? No. If front is equal to 0? Yes, again it is full. Now double-ended queue has become full from the front end. You are not allowed to insert more elements from the front end of the double-ended queue. Now let us try to go back to the insert rear function once again with this scenario. Insert rear function, right? Yes, this was the insert rear function where we stopped. I will just erase, make use of these elements only for continuation of insert rear function. Where we left here. What are the elements? 90, 80, 30, 40, 50. Right? I'm just continuing the function. 90, 80, 30, 40, and 50. So where front is pointing? So front is pointing to index 0 and rear is pointing to index 4. So this is the scenario continuation because I'm going from one function to other function for explanation purpose. Now we still have space at the rear end of the double-ended queue. So let us see how we can insert some more elements. Yes, as we have space here at the rear end of the double-ended queue, there is available space at the rear end of the double-ended queue, and we are still free to insert. This is front index and this is the rear index. So now let us say that you want to insert one element called 100 from the rear end of the double-ended queue. Check, is it possible to insert? What is the element now? The element is 100. Where you want to insert? You want to insert from rear end of the double-ended queue. Is rear equal to -1? No. That is the case only when queue is empty. What is the rear value? Rear is pointing to index 4. Check whether rear is pointing to maximum index. In our case, maximum index is what? 6. This is also false. That means ultimately what it indicates, there is some space available at the rear end of the double-ended queue and you are allowed to insert the element from the rear end. So simply increment the rear pointer, make rear equal to rear plus 1. Increment the rear pointer by 1. Now rear is made to point to the next possible index in the double-ended queue. Then at that rear index, simply insert the element. At that index, simply insert the element. So what is the element? 100 will get inserted successfully. So 100 has been inserted successfully onto the double-ended queue. That too from the rear end. Now I'll check one more with the 110. So let us insert one more element from the rear end. So is rear is equal to -1? No. Is rear equal to maximum index? Maximum index is 6 in our case. No. That means still there is space. Increment the rear and insert the element. Perform rear equal to rear plus 1. So rear has been incremented to point to the next possible location and store the next element. What is the next element? 110 gets stored. Okay. Now let us say that you want to insert one more element called 120. You want to insert one more element called 120. Is rear equal to -1? No. I'll erase this. Okay. 120, you want to insert one more element from the rear end. Is rear equal to -1? Fails. Is rear equal to possible maximum index? Possible maximum index is 6 and rear is also pointing to 6, and we say that queue is full. So this was the discussion about double-ended queue, that is inserting an element from the front end of the double-ended queue, deleting an element from the front end, inserting an element from the rear end and deleting an element from the rear end. So all the functions, and you write the main function for this and take it as an assignment. So this completes the 7th chapter from the algorithm subject. That is third half module is completed. If you have anything to be asked, you can ask.